Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. stand in this place of light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning. And a beautiful, happy Easter morning to you all. So I invite you to, let's do an invocation. So I invite you to just sit back in your seat and close your eyes if you please. Just absolutely knowing that the divine is here in this very room, in this very atmosphere, surrounding, loving, moving each and every one of us. And as we celebrate this beautiful day of Easter, of the resurrection, knowing that each of us is lifted up into the highest and the best of who we are. And so as we move into this service, we know that the divine is guiding Reverend Elzia's words. It is the music, it is the technology that allows us to be able to put this service out into the ethers and to have us right here and right now with every beloved person who has chosen to show up this morning and share this Easter with us. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for Center for Spiritual Living Denver. I am so grateful for each person here and online, knowing that we are in the right and perfect place that we need to be. So grateful. And from that place of deep, deep gratitude, I release this into that one mind, that one heart, knowing that all is well, and it is so. And so it is. So the featured book for April by Home Office is by Mark Nepo, and it's called The Endless Practice, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be. And so my reading is from that. The point of experience is not to escape life, but to live it. Each of us carries some wisdom waiting to be discovered at the center of our experience, and everything we meet, if faced and held, reveals a part of that wisdom. We have a language of truth growing in our heart that only living can decode. Truth is a seed hidden in the days until watered by our experiences. In Greek, gnosiko means to come to know, the recognition of truth by experience. As impatient as we are, this recognition can only happen through time. Like it or not, time slowly exposes the story of our lives with friction, wearing away the film that covers our eyes and the calluses that guard our heart, till we can apprehend the wonder waiting just under the skin of everything. And from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, from Living the Science of Mind, there is one life. This life is God. This life is perfect life. This is my life now. It is flowing through me, circulating in me. I am one with its rhythm. And so it is. And now let's have Jami Lula singing What If You Knew.
Here's something brand new. What if it's true? You have everything you need. What if it's true? You can live your wildest dreams. Will you run and hide or go along for the ride? Toss the current and tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew the infinite's residing in you? What if it's true that there's never need for shame? What if it's true that there's power in your pain? Will you run and hide or go along for the ride? Test the current and tide in the ocean of possibilities. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's rising in you? Shadow and light, yin and the yang are all part of you. The past is the past, we've all made mistakes, it isn't your truth. What if you knew? What if you knew? What if you knew that the brilliance you're mining is you? What if you knew? What if you knew that the infinite's thriving in you? What if you knew? What if you knew that your soul's so much larger than you? What if you knew? What if you knew your design is divine? Yes, it's true. What if you knew? What if you knew?
Thank you, Jami. And I'm trying to know. I hope I know. I hope we know. Let's try to know. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love. A spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing principles that empower our lives and the lives of others. Welcome on this Easter Sunday. However you are celebrating, it is a joyous day here in Colorado, and I trust it's the same everywhere else. And if it's not, just read into my mind and pick up something that's going on over here in Colorado. You know, we can do that. There's power in the spoken word and in the thought of the mind. And when we look at Easter, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at transformation, uncovering, sharing. And so we honor and welcome the Holy Presence, the Holy Spirit here right now. With open hearts and receptive minds, we attune ourselves to the guidance that surrounds us and rises from within us. May every thought today move in the direction of clarity. May every word spoken be anchored in truth. May every action we take be a conscious step towards wholeness. We affirm that we stand in the current of a universal flow, that is receptive, responsive, and ever unfolding. We extend blessings to every soul who receives this message, knowing these words open a doorway to awareness, ignites transformation, and reminds us that we live in a field of infinite possibilities. And so it is, amen. And so as we begin this month of April, and spring has truly sprung, we look at this idea for the month of the practice of becoming. Now, we've talked before about the process of becoming. That's just so we can understand what it means. But today, this month, we look at the practice of becoming, because we know really to embody something, you have to do something. To embody something, you have to do something. And when we look at this Easter story, just as a side note, there was an embodiment there that did something. There was a body that went away, and then it was embodied again, and then it did something. Something rose from within. That resurrection story. But today, we're going to look at it from a different place on this Easter Sunday. And we invite you to step into how do we live life with presence and awareness. Presence and awareness, because when we look at the Easter story, and we look at the resurrection story, when we look at the Easter, the spring, any story that talks about renewal, regeneration, resurrection, transformation, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at presence. I got to be here now, as Ram Dass would say, and I have to have an awareness of what's going on. There's an awareness in the Easter lilies. Have you ever thought or asked yourself, why do them doggone Easter lilies come up at the exact same time every year, within a day or two? There's an awareness in that bulb, in that plant, that says, I may be off by, plus or minus, but the awareness is it's time. It's time to resurrect. It's time to regenerate. It's time to be present. Now that word presence, it could be a present. It can be a presence here, or it can be a presence out there. But they're both needed. To live with presence and awareness allows us to take every day, every moment as a brand new miracle. As a brand new miracle. And the easiest way, I think, to do it is to look at life as a miracle, moment by moment. Moment by moment. Because it is in that moment, in this moment, that I am fully aware. I can think about what I just said in a past tense, but I can't be in that moment like I am in this moment right now. So we have to step into this moment by moment. And as we open to the universal idea of renewal, we embrace the blueprint of transformation. Now, we talked about this blueprint, this architect, this pattern of life that is present everywhere. Now that word again, present, is present everywhere. And so when we live with presence, we can tap into that divine plan that's within each and every one of us. There's a divine plan in all the different bulbs, the lilies and the lilacs and all of the different bulbs that got planted last year. There was a presence to say, okay, I'm just going to be present and aware. And when the moment comes, or the time comes, I will rise again. We have that. We have that. Now the question is, are we really, really, really understanding this process, moving into a practice of life. Because you see, a practice that does not begin somewhere else, it does not begin somewhere else, sometime later, under some better condition. It begins right now. That's when the present. It's not in the past, not in the future. It's now. And so when I think about that, I think about the word presence. And this is what I came up with in terms of what it means. Presence is the doorway through which we are reborn daily. When we are present, we stop living as echoes of yesterday and begin living as creators of today. Now, the Buddha said this. The Buddha said, every morning we are born again. We do today, what we do today, rather, is what matters most. What we do today is what matters most. And the only way we can do that, we have to be present. We have to be present. And then now, once I understand that this presence is this doorway that transports me from an echo of yesterday to the presence of now, I step into full awareness. I step into full awareness. And here's what awareness is. Awareness is the courage to choose again. Awareness is the courage to choose again. That's moment by moment living, because that's what we do in moment by moment. We make a choice of how we're going to show up, how we're going to respond, what we're going to say, how we're going to act. It's a choice. I have a choice whether to scream at the guy next to me that tried to cut me off the road. I have a choice, right? There's an awareness there. And the capacity to perceive the inner moment of thought, intuition, and the whispers of spirit beneath the noise. So not only am I in a moment of choice, but I'm also listening to what's beneath the surface. I'm listening to that intuitive voice beneath the surface, above, Let me ask the question. How many people have seen the noise of what's going on today? Had anybody seen that? Is that just me? I turned, something was wrong with my hearing, I thought, but I was wrong. The noise is everywhere. It's everywhere, in every field, at every moment. That's why we have to be present in every moment, and we have to be aware that beneath all of the noise, all of the stuff, there were some other words I could have used in the place of stuff, but I think stuff is sufficient. Stuff is sufficient. But when we can get below the stuff, step into a moment of presence and be aware, now we can navigate. Now we can really make a choice. We can really make a choice. Ernest Holmes said this. Ernest said, every morning we are surrounded by a presence, a power, and a law of good. That's every moment, every morning, every time. We are surrounded by this. We probably heard of or heard someone tell of that, thing with the fish. The fish is in the water. It don't know anything else because it's in it, through it, around it, all in it. That is what's happening to us every moment. Even if we're not present, it's there. But if we are aware, now we have power. Now we have power. And when we look at this story of Easter, it's a perfect example of this. Jesus was aware of all this stuff going on around him. However you want to look at the story, metaphysical, historically, actual, pick a place. It doesn't matter because the story is the same. There was a place of awareness where Jesus made that famous statement, forgive them for they know not what they do. They are not present. They are not aware. But I am, and I understand, and I will not allow myself to be knocked off my sound footing foundation because you're not present. And you ever got to a point where someone was arguing with you and you just like, okay, this is stupid if I keep going with this. And so you just settle into it. And you just, and it's like the cartoons. Wah, 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 wah. You just let them go on and you just smile and you just wait. And when they finish, you say, okay, I'll see you later. Presence and awareness. That's what Jesus represents in that moment. That when we're present and we are aware, we can withstand the crucifixion. We can withstand the idea of someone putting us down or belittling us or calling us names or whatever that crucifixion is, that trying to fix us in a fixed place where there's no movement, where there's no transformation. But Easter is all about transformation. That's all it is, transformation. So when we look at this idea of living with presence on this holiday, that's what the story is really about. To be present, to be aware. And then after they crucified him and made him whatever, and they put him in the tomb, the story was that they rolled away the stone, right? They opened up their awareness. The awareness was here. They opened up their awareness to see bigger, to see more, to see clearer in a present moment. Because I can't see clearly now. There's that song verse that says, I can see clearly now the rain has gone away. All the blue skies and all the birds and all the things that I thought weren't even present are present everywhere. That's the same thing we're dealing with now today. Rain is raining and fog is fogging and mist is misting and we can't see a thing if we're not clear. But if we can just stand in that present place of awareness, we know that it has not come to stay, it has come to pass. These times won't be here forever, but we have to be present and aware so we can move through them, so we can help others through them, so we can be a guidepost for those who don't see them. That's what this teaching teaches. That we are way showers, not only for ourselves, but for each other. But for each other. And there was this story, before we sum up, I want to, it's about a traveler and a stream. So this traveler was going through the countryside and it was a beautiful day. It was a nice shade tree. He sat down under the tree and was just looking at the stream. Just watching the flow of life, if you will. And he noticed as he sat there and just was present in that moment, he looked out in the middle of the stream and he saw this nice, smooth rock in the middle of the stream. And he got fixated on that rock. And while he was sitting there, the old sage walked up behind him. He didn't even hear the sage. He was really in the moment, right? And when he noticed the sage, he said, "Sage said, what you doing? I noticed you for a while. You were sitting there. I didn't know if something was wrong." Or he said, "No, I've been watching that rock out there in the middle of the stream, and I'm wondering, how did it get so smooth? How did it get so perfectly round and so appealing?" And the sage just looked at him and said, "Well, it wasn't worn down." I know that's what you're thinking. You're thinking it got worn down by the water. But he said, "No, that's not what happened. I'm going to give you another perspective. The rock released all those things that no longer served. in the present moment. The awareness of life flow and what I got going on and what's around me, I just surrendered. The rock just surrendered. And it allowed all those things that keep us from being present and aware away. And when that happens, a nice, shiny, smooth rock took its place. Just as when Jesus came out of the tomb, it was full of light. A nice, shiny presence, a spirit that says, I released all that stuff that does not matter. And what you see now is the essence of life, the essence of me, the essence of you. But to tap into that, you know what you got to do. You got to be present and aware. You got to be present. You have to be aware that we have that same ability. Jesus said, these things I do, you can do these and more. You can do these and more. Imagine, just close your eyes for a minute and imagine what Jesus would have done in the day of quantum physics. I mean, he already turned the wine and the water into wine and breads into loaves. And imagine what would be possible. And he used it before. The quantum physics, in a quantum physics age, what kinds of things could take place? What kind of presence could we ourselves right now, with the ability to do greater things, do if we tap into not only the theoretical and the conversational pieces of what quantum physics is, but the actual practice of it in our lives? The actual practice of turning the water into wine, turning plain life into a spirited life, where we are aware, where we are present, and we are here for what it takes. So when we think about this, we think about it in the presence of how do we practice this idea of presence? How do we practice this idea of awareness? And so I'm going to leave you with three things. Presence is the gateway to renewal. Presence is the gateway to renewal. And Anissa Nin said this. She said, we do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. That means there's a presence and awareness of how I'm looking at things. If I looked at that guy that almost ran me off the road with an evil eye and a presence of I'm going to run you off the road, Ernest said, we are a mirror to what comes back to us. How do we begin to understand that presence is the gateway to renewal? When we return to this moment with openness and reverence, we become available to peace, clarity, and spiritual renewal when we're present. Now, if we ain't present, now it might be like Vegas. You spin that wheel, you don't know what you're going to get. That Russian roulette, you know, y'all play Russian roulette, seen it? They spin, they throw the little rock in there, the little ball in there, and you don't know what's cutting out. You know, they win at the thing, but you don't know. There may be somebody who's tapped in, tuned in, and turned on can figure it out. But most of us don't know. We guessing, we hoping, we praying. But when we return to the moment of presence with openness and reverence and become in tune with the infinite peacefully, now we're ready for some renewal. Because living with presence is choosing to meet life as it unfolds. Choosing to meet life as it unfolds, not as a memory or a projection. Now, I've projected a lot on a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of things, and probably 99.9% of the time, I was wrong and it did not happen when I projected. But when I was able to just relax, be present, and let it flow, renewal began in that moment. in that very moment when I let go, the renewal began. Because when we return to presence, we return to love. When we return to presence, we return to love. Presence softens us. It slows us down enough to see things clearly. Just being present. And once we understand that presence piece and we've slowed down, and you know, for somebody like me, boy, that slowing down part is hard. But when I'm able to do it, there's a different quality in everything I do in my life. Everything. And when that happens, I move to that second point, that deep awareness reveals the truth beneath the surface. Have you ever, just like the traveler saw that rock the rock was beneath the water, but if you can be present enough, you can see it. It'll be revealed. And so when we think about that, Lao Tzu had this perfect saying, what the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. Just as a deeper awareness, just a little bit beneath the surface there. Because awareness allows us to see beyond appearances and into the deeper patterns and shapes of our lives. It is the spiritual technology that transforms perception. Just look a little bit deeper, transforms your perception. We've all had it happen. We've all had it happen. We've seen those pictures. I don't know if there's a name for them, where you look at it and there's the old woman and the young woman, and some people see the old, some people see the young, and some people see both of them at the same time. And some of those who didn't see it before, if you give them a little training, they can see them, right? That's just a deeper awareness, looking a little beyond the surface. So awareness allows us to see beyond appearances. It also, this deeper awareness shifts our inner lenses, allowing us to participate consciously in our own becoming. If I look, we all know not what we can fool ourselves. Let me start there. I know everybody in here has fooled themselves at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. At least. And we can continue doing that, or if we allow ourselves to look a little deeper, be a little more present, we know what we need to do to be whatever it is we say we want to be, or whatever it is we think we were put here on earth to be. Most of us, we fight with it sometimes because it's too big, it's too scary. But when we can sit in that present moment and be aware and expand the awareness, like happens for everyone, whether we know it or not, there are times in our life when we are in that present moment and aware, things happen and we don't even know how. I know I've done it several times. It's not safe. Don't y'all try it. But I know you did. That you drive in your car and you remember being at corner X with the 7-Eleven, and the next thing you know, you're at 20 blocks away and you're at the Safeway, and you're like, how the heck did I get to the Safeway? The last thing I remember was the 7-Eleven. There was a flow, there was a presence, there was an awareness that took over. Thank God it took over, because I sure wasn't driving. That's what happens when we step into this awareness and presence, right? This deeper way of shifting our inner lenses that allows us to participate at a deeper level, at a more conscious level. And deep awareness is the ability to see the butterfly even when you feel like a caterpillar. That's what that deep awareness brings us. And once we've done that, now we step into springtime. Because renewal is the natural law of the universe. It's the natural law of the universe. The sunrise and the sunset is a law of renewal. The phases of the moon are laws of renewal. The plants that are starting to bloom is a sign of renewal, and it is present everywhere. Everywhere present. Everywhere present. The question is, are we aware enough, paying attention enough to see that is the game? And it is the only game in town. There's no other game. There's no baseball, there's no football, there's no soccer, there's no hockey. The only game in town is renewal. And that's what we're being called to do today on this Easter, is to renew our lives, to renew our perspectives, to renew our activities, so that we begin to practice this becoming, just like the lilies are practicing coming up right now. And I say practice because each year they come up with a little more blooms or a little more green foliage. They understand that it is a becoming. And so this renewal is something different. It's something different. And everything in nature is always becoming, always unfolding, always renewing. When we align with this rhythm, transformation becomes effortlessly. Just like driving the car, and we were at 7-Eleven and we got to Safeway, it was effortlessly. Although we were aware at a deeper level. Because if we weren't aware at some level, we'd have run 5 lights and we'd have hit 3 cars and we'd be in the back of the car. The spark, lights would be turning. But there's something deeper. But we have to surrender to that. We have to be present and allow it to come, and we have to be aware that it's there. Because renewal is not something we force. You can't force it. It is something we allow by aligning with the natural flow of life. Aligning with the natural flow of life. I mean, we can go home after that. Once we align, it's just, all right, have a good day. Because that's what it's about. Aligning and allow. If you have ever driven a stick shift, and you don't get the clutch and the gear and everything just right alignment, you start jerking all the way down the street. Like you got whiplash. How many of us are going through life not getting that gear, clutch, gear thing shift right? But when we get it right, what happens? That car just, if you shifting the gears right and slowing, you don't even know when you shift the gear. I mean, consciously, but the smoothness of it just continues picking up speed or slowing down if you're downshifting, right? So just as nature moves through seasons, we too are always being invited to release, awaken, grow, and begin again. That's renewal of life. So as we close, just remember that presence is the gateway, the doorway, just being available. Once we are available, now we can see beneath the surface and get a different perspective. And once we have that different perspective and know that there are things that are seen and things that are unseen, now we can just align and let go. I mean, the last metaphor is, some people don't like roller coasters, but sometimes you get forced onto it and you got your eyes closed and, it's okay while it's going up. But when that sucker car coming down, oh my goodness, and it starts turning and tucks and turns, and I would say 8 out of 10, when they get to the bottom of that circus, let's go again. Yeah. Let's go again. I am scared, but let's go again. That's what, when we fall in line with this awareness and presence, it's like doing the roller coaster. It has its ups and downs, but boy, was that fun, and let's do it again. That's what we do with renewal. And so let's just remember that we must learn to awaken and stay awoke. Learn to awaken and stay awoke, regardless to other opinions at this moment in time. I don't want to be sleep driving. I want to be awoke and driving. That is the work. No one awakening, but a discipline awakening. Not just one time, but a discipline awakening every day. Not just one insight from being present, but a way of life, a way of being is what we're looking for. So deep awareness is not a mood. It is a practice of remembering and becoming. There is an intentional way of newness that we're seeking. So let us continue to strive to find the mystery, the miracle of presence and renewal and awareness every day. Let us pray. So let's take a deep breath and allow ourselves to be relaxed and present. And as we bring our awareness to this moment called now, we notice the subtleness of our body and the subtle sounds that we may hear. And we know that we are here in this awareness called life. And we know because there's only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is our life now, that we are forever creating and unfolding into the new greatness of who we are, the wholeness of our being, the inner and the outer of this thing called life. And as we begin to allow that to be our everyday beingness, the idea that we are divine expressions of the Most High God, that is aware of all things, omnipresent. We ask that we accept this gift of life right now, to be present right now, to be aware right now, knowing that it is forever and ever and ever expanding. And it is in that understanding that I give thanks for everyone that's here, everyone that's on the call, and for anyone that may hear this later, knowing that there is a wellspring of love and awareness and guidance and peace and practice and all the things we need to be successful in life deep within our hearts, minds, and souls. And so as we allow them to resurrect right now, in this moment, and every moment, to be new, to be fresh, and to come forth shining with the light of love. And it is in that moment of love that we release this prayer into a law that is always working, that it has been working on our behalf since before we got here. And it continues to work. And as we are present and aware, it will continue to work consciously. It's always working, but when it works consciously, it's better because I have the choice. And so it is in that choice that we release and we say, and so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so there's a call to action as always. And this week, there's 2 call to actions. Practicing the presence 3 times a day. Stop for 30 seconds. Feel your breath. Notice your thoughts without judgment. That's a minute and a half. We can all do that. I spend more time in that scrolling on Facebook. So if I should be able to take 3 times a day. If you got your watch, set your watch to go off and say 30-minute meditation. 30 seconds. Well, 30 minutes would be good too, but this is 30 seconds. And just take a breath and feel your presence without judgment. Just look at what's going on. And then the second one, practicing awareness. Spend at least 10 minutes outside daily. Let the natural world remind you of the cycles, the patience, the awareness, and the renewal of life. Observe one thing closely, a leaf, a cloud, a bird, and let it speak to you. Now, these will be on the website, so you can go out and grab them. And as an affirmation to sink this in as we do this practice, I am present, awake, and aligned with the flow of life. I am present, awake, and aligned with the flow of life. And so now it's that time for sacred giving. And we appreciate everything you do to support this ministry, this community, this idea, this practice of becoming. And if you look across the bottom of your screen, you'll see the many different ways you can give, whether you go to the website and hit the donate button, whether you're here in the center, or whether you text to give, or you send a check or money order to the P.O. Box. But however you do it, we are grateful and thankful. And if you anchor that idea into your heart and life by placing your hand on your heart and repeating our affirmation, this perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And now Alice will come and give us some announcements, and happy Easter, everyone.
Thank you, Reverend Elzia. I'm not sure why the TV was showing blue on the slides. It didn't show up online, so you can either check out, if you're on the MailChimp, then the affirmation and the call to action will be on there this week, and it's also on our website under Ministers' Messages. So we will not be having our meditation and coffee today, so go celebrate Easter however you would like to. And we still have some March, April Science Mind magazines over on the table for sale, and plus a bunch of free ones, so you're welcome to have that. The March, April ones are $10 a piece. And we still have some extra handouts from Reverend Elzia's Community Cafe back a couple weeks ago on the art of sacred possibility, opening to what wants to emerge, which is pretty much in line with what he talked about today. Curiosity Corner. It's been a great success. We have some new to Curiosity Corner, Ernest Holmes books. I have a dear friend who made her transition back in January, and she had a lot of Ernest Holmes books. So I brought some in today, and that can help support CSL Denver if any of us, but I've got more than I need of Ernest Holmes books. So when I go, they'll come here too. So we are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network and Diego as our Sunday service producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They've got well over 40 hours of just all kinds of stuff, shows and recordings and music and all of that. And we are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our services online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, the divine beloved is always, always, always guiding and loving us, each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us, and let's close out with Karen Drucker, and I am so grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey, oh yeah. how I'm